Finally, it's been 3 months in the making. Piper Niven versus Rhea Ripley.
And in his debut match against Jack Stars, the obvious winner of that match.
What does Jazz Gabbert do at the Download Festival? Tell you what she does. 2 chicks at the same time.
And did the big strong boy and the artful dodger climb their way up the Grizzled Mountain?
Gentlemen, raise your beverages. It is the 50th episode of NXT UK, and this is an NXT party.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 50 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
And tonight, our special guest first, we've got the good brother, Chris Willis. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great, good sir. How you doing?
We're doing good.
Fantastic.
We also have the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. Thanks for joining us again, Colin. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back. Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
Star Spangled.
Now, I know most of the audience probably can't tell, but that is a new set for Colin. Other than the title being back there for the, it shows up sometimes, but it's got to be a different color of paint on the wall.
Yep.
Behind the same couch. How's the new house working out, Colin?
Oh, dude, it's great. New furniture came today for the upstairs. Things, it's getting settled between work and everything else. It's slowly but surely coming along, but I got my chill area set up, so I'm happy.
Absolutely.
So,
We wish you the best of luck. From me, mostly because I hate moving.
Oh, yeah.
I do too.
It's so much easier just to stay still.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I also hate moving all of my stuff from one previous home to my new previous home. That really sucks. So I feel for you, man. But I guess it's almost done, right? So
Yeah. Give me another 2 days off.
well, at least the
I'll have it done.
TV was up and running because we've got a groundbreaking, historic 50th episode of NXT UK to watch, and we all got to watch. And I was, up until the main event, slightly underwhelmed by this show. Gotta be honest. Main event was friggin' awesome. We will get to that, of course, but then it kind of was like, So for a 50th episode,
Yeah.
before we get into the breakdown of all the matches and everything, because there was 4 matches, I love that.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think about this being like the 50? Like, for me, that sounds like a big thing, but it doesn't really seem like it when you watch the show.
Well, yeah, I figured his 25th episode was the first ever pay-per-view, the TakeOver Blackpool.
Yes, thank you. And at least we know when the next takeover is going to be. And so this doesn't necessarily need to be another takeover, but at the same time, I feel like it should have been more than it was.
Chris, what's your take on the card in general for this evening?
Honestly, I thought it was good. I actually really enjoyed the episode 50.
What about you, Colin?
I enjoyed it too. Obviously, I was a little annoyed that they're at the Download Festival again, but it wasn't completely, I don't know, it wasn't a 50th episode, worthy show, no, but, it was for another episode, let's just say a random, 30 or 32, it was been a good show, but the expectations for 50 wasn't really all there.
Yeah, I think it could have been saved by the main event. Easily saved by the main event had there been a different finish than there was. Well, I feel frustrated by that because I really feel like I was getting to the point to where I was like, yeah, 50th episode. This because that I'm telling you, man.
It felt like
everything to the end of this show.
It felt like it was going like full circle because we had like on the 25th episode the takeover where the champions were crowned in this same competitors. So it would make sense for like for us to get a definitive finish and for like the match to be pretty much legendary. But
yeah, I think all three of us, Chris included, I don't know about Colin, but we called for a tag team title change here.
Yeah.
On the last episode of this show.
I did too.
Just because it felt like it was time. We're not going to... We'll get to that later. Let's start this show off.
Yeah.
My first note here is that we have a new intro for NXT UK. Same music, just different, different graphics and shit and different clips from the superstars that are on the current roster, and I really dug the
looks impressive.
Yeah.
It's a good mix of the main eventers and the mid-carders and even a couple jobbers thrown in there, like Flash Warren Webster.
They had perfect shots to show these guys doing like the stuff that is key to their characters. The rig and the stuff that they didn't have, they just did a photo shoot with them and had them do it with a background, or probably in front of a green screen, and then they gave them a background. But either way, like, they did a really good job with this. Yeah. And I wish these guys would work on the fucking NXT video for regular NXT.
Yeah.
Because I'm not impressed. Just because you get a great band to do a great song, or let you have a great song for your intro, fuck, man, that's not all you need.
No. Right?
Shit, they've stripped the graphics from it.
That's for sure.
They've stripped the graphics from it. Like, what the fuck? So anyway, badass new intro. Our first match of the night ends up being Rhea Ripley versus Piper Niven. Now, Rhea comes out while the announcers are still doing their, pre-show shtick, getting you hyped for the show. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? Like, you visibly get to see him look like, what's going on?
We're still at the Download Festival, for one, and we still have Aiden English's color commentary, which Vic alludes to a lot because he keeps on saying, like, Nigel says this and Nigel says that almost the entire evening.
The only thing worse than only getting Nigel McGuinness and Vic Joseph is getting Vic Joseph in a capacity where he's talking about something that Nigel McGuinness would say.
Yeah.
And we get this a lot in the last 3 episodes, and I guess there's going to be another episode from this Download Festival.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. But whatever. I am so glad that they've got Aiden English next to him. Otherwise, this would be unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my notes on that. But Rhea Ripley comes out. She storms out to the ring, calls out Piper Niven, and says, if we're going to do this, let's do this now. So she wants to get the surprise factor, I guess. Not really a surprise, because it didn't take long at all for the music to hit and for Piper Niven to come out and accept the challenge. Ref gets in the ring. We eventually get the bell called, and this match is officially the starter of the show. What'd you think about it, Colin?
Overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, it's been, like Chris said, 3 months in the making for this to happen. So I'm glad that, each woman got to show their kind of dominant side. I want to point out the fact that this is like really the first time I've seen it when Rhea Ripley pulls the reverse cloverleaf, that Piper actually locked her arms and held herself up to take the torque off her back. I don't really seen anyone block that right off rip. So props to Piper on that one. I thought it was a good match, though. I hope to see that again down the line for a number 1 contender title shot.
What about you, Chris?
I really enjoyed the match. They gave the ladies like 8 minutes. It was worth it. These two went blow to blow, and they did not hold back, and I'm surprised Piper Niven got the victory.
I'm not surprised by that. What do you think, Jerry?
I'm more surprised by the fact that they didn't save this for like a main event, because they've been building this storyline for so long. Great, it wasn't catching fire, I think, like it should have been at all. But at the same time, I guess they knew well enough to go ahead and pull the plug on it, let alone put it as an opening match for a NXT UK show, especially number 50.
If it's going to be an opening match, it can have a fucky finish or it can have a non-finish.
Yeah.
And then the rematch to have an actual finish be at Cardiff.
Yeah. So for this to be the first match of this card, and for it not to be a main event caliber, I thought the match itself was actually pretty impressive. It actually held my attention a lot more than I thought it was going to, because both the strengths of Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven are both on display in this match, and there was some pretty brutal stuff right at the opening of it. But then it broke down in the ring, and we actually got a good match out of the two. So a lot of trash talking from Rhea naturally, but otherwise, Piper just pulled off her usual shtick, and it was just her night.
We got a good match out of these two for the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The first 4 was clunky as hell.
Yeah.
And it was not particularly entertaining to watch. It was like filler. Mm-hmm. You're just waiting for something to happen. And eventually it did. I mean, we had a spot where I think Rhea takes Piper Niven off of the middle rope, face first into the top turnbuckle, and you're like, oh, that looks...
That looked like it sucked, yeah.
You had Rhea dodge Piper Niven coming into the corner, but then Piper Niven only goes for a knee but stops short. She dodges Rhea. Rhea goes shoulder first into the corner, into the post, and then Piper Niven comes off of that, and I think I've got notes for this. For a cannonball into Rhea's back.
Yeah.
Because Rhea's like slumping down after hitting her shoulder, and then hits that Michinoku driver that she calls the Piper driver for the pinfall. Like, the last couple of minutes weren't bad, but the majority of this match for me was clunky and just
the cannonball to the back actually looked really cool, because usually you have her somebody sitting prone in the corner, but this time it looked like Rhea was trying to work her way up, and Piper pretty much stay down, bitch, and she just kind of threw her whole body onto the back of her.
For me, the only time I was really paying attention was when Rhea Ripley had the upper hand on the outside, but then once she rolled her back in, and then when she went for the Riptide.
Yeah.
And couldn't hit it because, let's face it, Piper Niven's too heavy for her to pick up like that.
Yeah.
And they said Piper Niven blocked it, and I'm like, she didn't block it. All she did was dead weight it.
She shifted.
You can't say she dead weighted it because they're wrestlers and you're not breaking kayfabe. Everybody should be dead weighting every move.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't look like two superstars are helping each other do this one move onto the other guy.
Yeah.
It should look like one guy is superhuman doing these suplexes and shit. This was not well done, and it wasn't passed off very well either. And it was just clunky, man. But the last couple of minutes were alright.
Yeah.
So, passable. But for me, fuck, man, this is episode 50, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's the opening match. You don't have to finish it. Just have some bullshit happen and then carry this over to Cardiff. You gotta fill 5 matches anyway. So after this, we get an interview outside with Kenny Williams, who is out on this fucking, I guess, a path that cars or golf carts go through for this festival, because it is muddy as fuck. And I don't know what he said before he got clocked by Noam Dar.
Oh, he was going to start talking, and Noam Dar just comes out there, beats the crap out of him, shoves his face in what we can presume is mud. we really don't know. But... So it's a festival. You don't know what you're putting your face into if it's brown and on the ground.
So this is going to be a match between Kenny Williams and Noam Dar. I'm not against this. Who do you have coming out victorious, Chris?
Kenny Williams. Just get this feud out the way. I'm not a big fan of Noam Dar.
That would be interesting for Noam Dar actually to put over Kenny Williams. Do you think he'll actually be on board with that, or maybe almost like a huge upset, I would think it would be.
I think it depends on who you need for what next. If you need Noam Dar to be a more powerful heel, I hate saying it that way, but yeah, seriously, a heel with more momentum going into a defeat by some babyface, then that's who you go with. It depends on who you've got plans for.
Mm-hmm.
If they've got plans for both, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yep.
What about you, Colin? Who you got?
Honestly, for some reason, I'm going to go with Chris and stuff and say Kenny Williams on it because Noam Dar is technically already established and he can play either role. So they're probably going to try to work with Kenny Williams a little bit more because they need star power. So
he's coming out of the tag team.
So
maybe he needs to win.
Where do you see Amir Jordan fitting into this whole mix? Do you see him even coming back into the fold in any way, shape, or form, or are they just done using him in this scenario?
You said Amir Jordan?
Yeah.
I can care less about that guy. So.
Oh, seriously, you're a guy, but, you know.
I think it's going to depend on how long he's injured.
I forgot about him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So after this, we get a short video promo for Ilya Dragunov, and this is just telling us that he's going to be back next week for a
My
match.
eyes are red. I do clotheslines. I'm wrestling next week. That's it.
A very unimpressive European uppercut.
Yeah.
So this leads into the second match of the night. It is Jack Stars versus the NXT UK debut of Alexander Wolf. And it's good.
Jack Stars always puts on good matches. Like, he's the quintessential enhancement talent. His chest is his chest injury from the first Walter encounter has healed nicely.
Yeah, this was a good showing for Alexander Wolf. He was serious as fuck through this whole match.
Did you see all the power moves in this match, Colin? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, he looked damn impressive in this match. It was weird seeing him back in just the little Walter tights.
Yeah.
Because, he's had that bodysuit on, but if you noticed, all their tights now have, like, his said Wolf, and then had where he was from, the German flag and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Like their outfits did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So they're
Track
all,
suits.
they're going from tracksuits to Speedos. So, no, I was very impressed with Wolf in this match. I've been wanting to see him as a singles wrestler for a long time in WWE because the whole sanity thing dropped off, like, instantly.
Yeah.
So I was happy with it, and I don't want to steal anyone's moment on this, but I'm going to call dibs. So we have Powerbomb number 1 from Walter, and now we have Sit Down Powerbomb number 1 from Alexander Wolf.
Pretty much.
So,
and not to be not noted here, double negative, whatever. That's not the only powerbomb we have inside Imperium, because we have the tag team of Eichner and Bartel. They do that Undertaker style last ride off of the European uppercut by Bartel.
Yep.
So each of them have like a powerbomb variation to them. So
now
Imperium bombs, absolute power.
Now even Eichner does that powerbomb as a single star. Like, he just does it with a spin.
Yep.
So if Bartel develops a powerbomb, I don't know what other powerbomb there is to do.
Made like almost like a
jackknife.
I wouldn't say a jackknife. I'd probably say one into like a lung blower, kind of like Roderick Strong does. I can see him pull off something like that.
That's too much. Too much. I say just a jackknife. Just drop him. Just the minimal effort. That's the Kevin
Jack
Nash.
Nine powerbomb. the Jack Nine.
So, what were your notes from this match, Chris? Like, anything stand out?
If Alexander Wolf was on the main roster with his little new gimmick with the black tights and black boots, he'll be chasing after the 24/7 championship. Thank God he's a part of NXT UK with Imperium. I wanted to bring that up. I didn't take no notes, but I'm thinking by the fly. Honestly, I really enjoyed his match.
Yeah,
I have nothing bad to say about it.
They made Alexander look good.
We said oaf and ow a lot in this match.
I think there was one point where we both said damn at the same time.
Yep.
He still owes me a Coke. So, he had this perfect German suplex, and what better out of a German, right?
Yeah.
He does this power, or scoop slam, that I call a power scoop slam, because he pushes him out a little bit and then just drives him down with it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody deliver a scoop slam like that. Probably, but it doesn't ring a bell. He catches Stars. He's coming from the corner. I can't remember if he was coming off the ropes or not. But he catches a crossbody, throws it up on his shoulders into a sick Death Valley driver. This reminds me of Perry Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And picks him up for essentially a Batista bomb, but he lands it right when the bomb lands. Who else does it like that? Was it Jenny? One of the women's wrestlers does it like that.
I think so.
It might even be Toni Storm. We give her a lot of shit, but it might be her. Anyway, very well done. Again, Jack Stars is the quintessential enhancement talent. He makes everybody look good.
And I hope they do. I hope Imperium does this with every match. He pretty much was kicking Jack Stars when he was down, like more or less pushing him out of the ring like he's a piece of garbage, and that the mat is sacred, and he doesn't need to be put, like, you know.
And Jack Star's got a little bit of offense. You know, he made himself look like a viable challenger a little bit, but not too much.
Nobody walked into this match and said, Jack Stars, winner.
I got 50 on Stars. No one did that.
So after this, we get a promo with Gallus, and I guess the cameraman's walking into their trailer, wherever they're given to hang out during the show, and it's just the three of them, and they start saying stuff, and I have no fucking clue what they said.
Thank you. I picked up.
Damn it! No, Colin. I was saying, it's like, don't worry. Colin's got us covered. He can translate.
I heard him talk about the hunt, and I heard him talk about Mastiff. So I assume they're just like promo on them because we're getting this. Spoiler: we're getting this 6-man tag next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no freaking clue. I don't know if it was the acoustics in the room or what. Normally, even with their accent, I can kind of tell what they're saying. But Jesus, Chris, did you pick up?
It.
Oh, go ahead.
I was watching it, and I looked at my wife. I'm like, "Do you have any idea what the hell they just said?" And she's like, "Not a clue." Like I heard Mastiff, I heard next week or something, or I don't know. It was just a bunch of fucking rubbish. I don't even know.
Did you gather any of it, Chris?
Hell no. all I see is Wolfgang like, yo, get out of here, get out of here. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. Come here and get out, get out, get out.
Yeah, they let the cameraman in like it was their personal clubhouse and then kicked him out just the same. Like they've got GROSS, get rid of slimy girls on the outside. It's a Calvin and Hobbes reference. Great comic, you should check it out. So after this we get a short video promo for Toni Storm. This was much like the Ilya Dragunov promo, only this one we had, I think it was Vic Joseph doing like a talking promo behind her, talking her up, giving her all these nicknames and shit, even ones she hasn't already given herself, just to tell us that she's going to be in a match next week.
Shiny, shiny!
Shiny, shiny. I think that's all that needs to be said. After this is our third match of the night. We've got Jazzy Gabbard coming out with Jenny, and so looks like a one-on-one, but then in the ring we've got Danny Luna and Mercedes Blaze, who didn't get an entrance or didn't get music, but they did at least get banners with their names on them so we could write them down.
Hooray!
And this is a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, why not?
I pretty much told Stefan right from the get-go, but unless these two are going to hook together like Voltron, they are fucked.
What do you think about this match, Chris?
It was just a squash match. Jazzy Gabbard, she really scares the crap out of me. She destroyed those two Hammond-Eggers. You know, what can I say? 3-minute match.
If that. What about you, Colin? What do you think?
Like Chris said, just a jobber match. Jazzy Gabbard coming out with her Kevin Nash 1995 hair.
She still looks more like Nuclear Man from Superman 4 and Quest for Peace for me. So you could cape it all.
I don't know if the joke worked the first time.
Yeah, it's fucking Super Shredder over here. Like
Super Shredder.
But no, it was just a squash match. Nothing to write home about.
Which, by the way, was Kevin.
A lot of huffing and puffing and power moves on Jazzy's part. So
Yeah. I mean, it was what I expected out of this match. I mean,
lots of things in the Mercedes.
Yeah. So at one point we had it would be the hot tag, except Jazzy pulls the girl Danny Luna, over to the corner and throws her into the corner like, tag your partner. Yeah. I'm done playing with you. And so we get the hesitant tag, and then Jazzy goes over and lifts Mercedes Blaze into the ring. And right before we got there, you said something to me, and you or Chris might be the only ones to get away with this joke, so go ahead.
I feel hate crime coming on.
Oh, man. Yeah, I lost it. Right there.
Oh, man.
So she throws her into the ring and beats up on her, and then at one point she's got her in the other corner, and Luna gets in the ring, like, illegally, but who cares? Mm-hmm. And she goes and she puts a forearm into Jazzy Gabbert's back, who no-sells it, and I'm like, why aren't you putting more forearms into her back?
Yeah.
She just stands there looking at her like, what you gonna do now? I'm like, what did she do before? Because she's about to do that again. Before she threw you into the hot tag, what was she doing? Because you're leaving her no choice but to turn around and do it again. So, yeah, whatever. But, yeah, it made her look good. She hit the Dominator on Blaze and got the pinfall right there. And yeah. Easy enough. It was an okay match for what it was. It was just, it's NXT UK 50, man.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an okay match. It should be, like, fucking awesome. Anyway. Did everybody get to talk about this match? Did you?
Yeah, everybody did.
That's all it needed. After this, we get something that they had alluded to earlier. We didn't make note of that because whatever. This is a Cassius Ohno. It was supposed to be an interview, but it starts off as an interview and ends up being like this video package promo. And essentially, he's just talking about like the original 5. He considers Mustache Mountain and Pete Dunne the British Strong Style, and then who were the other 2?
Wolfgang and Mark Andrews.
And then he singles out Mark Andrews as saying he is nothing like a British wrestler. He singles out the super kick that he says no doubt he does because of Shawn Michaels, but instead the innovator of the super kick was, I don't know, some British wrestler. Anybody know? Anybody remember?
I don't remember. I didn't really take notes.
I should have.
If anybody but Cassius Ohno had told me his name, I'd probably remember.
Yeah.
I might have even written it down.
It's one of those situations where we didn't want to be schooled by Cassius Ohno, so we just kind of like.
So we didn't get a tweet by Johnny Saint or anything, but I'm assuming in the next 2 to 3 weeks we're going to get this match.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get a response by Mark Andrews next week, and then the first episode somewhere else we'll get the match.
Okay.
I would say Mark Andrews goes over. He needs it more. Chris, who you got?
Oh no! Oh no!
Really?
Yeah.
What about you, Colin?
The way Ono's been going lately, I'm going Ono, man. He's been kind of on a little streak now at NXT UK. His career's a lot better over there, I think. So I'm going to go with Ono.
Jerry?
I want to say Mark Andrews, I really do, but I'm gonna have to go with Ono.
I'm on my own on this.
I see Ono Mark Andrews try and come off with some flippy, spinny shit and getting a forearm to the head while he's upside down.
So this is what I would like to see: turn Ono face eventually and have him go for Walter.
Well, by the time it takes you to turn Ono face, is the champ still going to be Walter?
And Walter's already dismantled Ono in his second or third match.
Yeah, you never know.
I wouldn't be against
like the weather.
it.
Wait, it's WWE though. Sometimes
I think they're having
5 minutes like the weather.
I think they're having success with Ono as a heel right now, trying to be a better British wrestler than actual British wrestlers.
Which that's the base kind of heel you could have right there, as an American saying that you can do their style better.
Yeah.
So, like I said, in the time that it would take to finish that out and squeeze every last drop out of it before you turn him face and do something else, maybe it's not still Walter as the champ, and you don't have that. Now you need him as a heel in order to face a babyface champ.
Yep.
Who knows? Before our main event, we get the announcement for the 6-man tag match. I think we already knew this. They just reiterate it. Next week, it's going to be Gallus, that's Mark and Joe Coffey, and Wolfgang versus the Hunt, that is the Primate and the Wild Boar and Dave Mastiff.
Yep. All three animals.
Yeah. So, who you got, Jerry?
Oh, Gallus. I see probably the Primate eating all raw vegetables.
What about you, Chris?
Gallus.
Colin?
I'm going with Mini Vader and Tokar.
The Mini Vader.
You're going with the animals?
Yeah.
The menagerie.
Man, I'm torn. I mean, I really think Gallus is the easy pick for the winner here, but at the same time, they're building up Mastiff too, even though he doesn't have to take the pinfall. Since he doesn't have to take the pinfall, I say Gallus.
Well, if they do pull it off, I'd probably see Mastiff actually getting the pinfall, maybe Mark Coffey and Joe and him like eyeballing each other, some crap, and that leads to Joe versus Dave for #1 contendership to Walter.
Yeah, and then it's got to be Mastiff because he's the babyface. At least I think he is.
Support No DQ.
We are on to the main event. We've got Mustache Mountain, that's Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, versus James Drake and Zach Gibson. They are grizzled young veterans. This is for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships, and it is the main event. It was really good, and the ending was kind of disappointing. And that's all I'm going to give away right now. Let's go with Chris first. What did you think about the main event?
Oh my God, the main event was unbelievable. 15 minutes of great tag team wrestling. Main roster, take notes. Seriously. My God, the back and forth, the psychology, the storytelling, the hot tags. But when that near fall, that last second of near fall, I'm thinking, how many more minutes left? Okay, cool. But the ending. Oh.
Colin?
Great match. Gibson and Drake shined in this match. I mean, Mustache Mountain did too, but James Drake and Zach Gibson worked so well together in a ring tonight with their double team moves and the offense and defense with the other teams. It was fantastic. Tyler Bate and Mustache Mountain, or Trent Seven, they had one of the better matches I've seen from them in a long time. I'm going to put it as that. I was very happy with the match, but the end I was not thrilled with whatsoever. So I don't want to spoil it, but go ahead, gentlemen.
Jerry,
how did you feel?
It's the gentleman's views on the main event.
With me, this is, like I said, this matches have been full circle, more or less, because this is episode 50, and now that harkens back to episode 25, which is TakeOver when the champions were crowned. So you would think that this would be, more of a rehashing of that match. When in all actuality, I think we actually got a better one. Because now these teams actually know each other's moves. They had to up the ante a little bit. And with this match, they did exactly that. They knew what everybody was going for, so they changed it up here and there.
Yes and no.
But then we also had James Drake was just on fire.
Yeah, James Drake was on Ilya Dragunov's fucking Russian cocaine, man. He was Jesus.
Like, he brought the level of intensity in this match like crazy. I likened it to pretty much, how one person loses a sense and all the other senses get heightened. He doesn't talk, so he just becomes more ferocious in the ring.
Is it too early to nickname him the Wolverine?
No, it's never too early to nickname him the Wolverine.
Okay.
The guy who used to use Wolverine can't use it no more. So.
Yeah, he doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Not by WWE standards.
Yeah.
Well, I said yes and no. the first half of this match was the good old-fashioned song and dance.
Yeah.
The second half of this match, suddenly I've got more notes for this match than I did for the rest of the fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said this match had my hopes of this show meeting what I expected out of episode 50 standards, and then the ending.
Yeah.
So my first note here is Drake comes off the ropes, and Zach Gibson drops down Hardy style, and Drake jumps off his back and lands this sick drop kick into Trent Seven.
Yeah. Trent Seven did a lot of punishment in this match, as per usual.
And then the first move I don't know if I've seen before. We had Mustache Mountain with a belly to back / powerbomb double team. Just imagine it. It's possible. They did it. They got a near fall out of it. Because the ref was distracted with, I think, the other guy from the
Simpsons did it.
Young veterans on the outside, yeah. Mustache Mountain goes for that finisher they've got where Tyler Bate comes off the ropes Peter Pan style into a clothesline where Trent Seven does the dragon suplex. But I think Gibson like powers out of it and he holds Bate in place while fucking James Drake does an sick enziguri to his head, and then he fucking what does he do? He holds him for the setup for a neck breaker, and then James Drake super kicks him in the head, and then he does the neck breaker. Like, it was fucking sick.
Great series of moves.
And then Seven gets back in the ring and he throws Drake out. And then we see the Ticket to Ride by Gibson to Trent Seven. And then he tags Drake in. And Gibson does this we called it an Indian death stretch. Because it was like an Indian death lock on the legs, but it was like a surfboard stretch on the arms.
Yeah.
Picks him up. James Drake comes off of the ropes. And then sideways leapfrogs off of Gibson's back and drops a leg across the neck of who was it?
Tyler Bate. Yeah.
No, it's Trent Seven.
Oh, that's right, Trent Seven. They still have folded his potato ass up like a taco.
Yeah, and then off of this move, they go for the pinfall, and Drake has to roll Trent Seven over. A dead-weighted Trent Seven, like a sack of fat potatoes. And he gets a near fall. Drake starts hitting these hard lefts onto Trent Seven as he's like on his knees on the mat, but instead of knocking him out, it starts pumping him up, and so Drake goes for one more hard left, and Trent Seven ducks around and grabs him. He turns him into the ripcord and then comes off with the 7-star lariat. Like, I can't explain that, but that's how it happened. How I explained it.
Yeah.
Okay, after this we get the hot tag to Tyler Bate, who goes full bore after James Drake. He starts nailing him with rights and lefts, leads him into the corner, and that's where Zach Gibson gets the blind tag. And while Tyler Bate's not paying attention, he gets him by the gut and drags him into the other corner and holds him there for James Drake to come off with
grit your teeth.
Yeah, grit your teeth. That sick drop kick.
God.
And then Seven knocks Drake off the top rope because he went up for one of their tag team moves. And then Bate counters this cradle that Zach Gibson had him in. I don't know what he was going to drop with it, but he had him cradled up. And he counters that into a roll-up, gets a near fall. And then Gibson goes for a superplex. Somehow he dodges Tyler Bate coming in, but Tyler Bate ends up doing that thing where he kicks out. And then Zach Gibson grabs his foot, but then Tyler Bate throws his other foot on top, which pulls Zach Gibson down, and he knees him in the face. And then he goes up top. And there's General's rule number 4: do not catch that leg from Tyler Bate.
Yeah,
because he's gonna somehow pull your face down and kick you in the knee in the head. So anyway, Gibson goes up and he's going for a superplex, and Trent Seven comes in, gets the blind tag, but before he does anything, he goes in because James Drake's coming in illegally, and he drops him with just a power slam. Then he goes into the corner, and Tyler Bate does that, what does he call it? The bop and bang, where he teases up here but then punches you with the left hand. And
bang, yeah.
He sends Zach Gibson into Trent Seven, who catches him in that fucking torture rack. And then Trent Seven leapfrogs over Zach Gibson, who's on Trent Seven's back, into a diving headbutt onto
Tyler Bate.
or Tyler Bate. Yes,
Yeah.
excuse me. Into a diving headbutt onto James Drake, and then Trent Seven finishes up the torture rack into a burning hammer onto James Drake, and you think they'd get the pinfall, but fucking I think it was Gibson kicks out.
Yep.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's more. Guys! Seriously! 2 weeks in a row?
Support, no DQ.
I figure Trent Seven and Tyler Bate were going to go for another tag team finishing move and try and finish the match again, but no. The music hits and Imperium comes out, and they storm the ring, and I don't know if their intent was to just break up the match so that there's no winners, or if they were just targeting Mustache Mountain. But that's all that they beat up was Mustache Mountain. They caused the disqualification. I'm assuming Mustache Mountain wins the match via disqualification, but of course they don't get the belts. In this case, Imperium costs us a brilliant match, I think.
Yep.
Just for the sake of them doing some damage and looking tall at the end. We saw, well, first of all, I want to point out that the crowd was chanting at them, "Walter's bitches," which is kind of fun. But Walter does a power bomb onto Tyler Bate onto the apron twice, and then the third power bomb he puts him straight up into the ring post. And all the while, Trent Seven is looking on helpless because they got handcuffs and handcuffed him to the corner. And then they stand tall on the apron at the end, and man, it ruined a great main event, I think. This was not needed. They look strong enough as it is. There should have been a finish to this match. And whether or not Mustache Mountain got the titles or not, there should have been a finish to this match. What do you think about this after match here, Colin?
They robbed us of a great main event, honestly. I mean, I love the group, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't have been this match they did it on. This was a big show. This should have had a great ending to a big show because it was episode 50. You know, it is what it is, but yeah, the ending was kind of bullshit in my opinion. The whole time that Tyler Bate's getting beat down by Walter, and all you hear is my cat's going nuts. Sorry, we just moved. She's getting used to stuff.
That's fine.
She like all you hear is Trent Seven like crying for Tyler, like Tyler. That's all you can hear. You can hear it like over the commentators. So you know, it is what it is. But yeah, they robbed it for sure.
Jerry?
I thought it was alright. I'm not bothered by it in any way, shape, or form, really. Granted, I'm like you guys in thinking that Mustache Mountain was going to win the match. I thought they were actually, but the thing was, I thought they were going to win the belts. This still puts them in a number one contender type spot because they theoretically didn't lose the match. But this also raises the question, where's Imperium fitting into this? Who's going to be helping them in their battle with Imperium? And where does this leave Grizzled Young Veterans at, in this whole mess too? So,
well, I'm thinking we either get a rematch between Mustache Mountain and the Grizzled Young Veterans at TakeOver Cardiff, or we get a triple threat tag team match for the titles.
Yep,
and you include Eigner and Bartel.
Yep, that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
What do you think about this aftermatch here, Chris?
I was on the edge of my seat, and about 1 minute later, Imperium came out. I'm just like, no, be a distraction. Oh, no, you attacked Mustache Mountain. No, why, you bastards? Oh, I felt robbed.
It was like that souffle
Certainly.
that you took out, just kind of caving in. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that brings us to the end of this episode of NXT UK. And here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. So since it's your second time around, Chris, we'll let you go first again. Sure, why not?
Yes.
Out of 5 spots of NXT, where do you rate this main event?
Man, $1 million question. Okay. I want to give it 4 stars and 2 quarters, but I got to subtract 1 quarter. 4 stars and 1 quarter, man.
Oh, 4.25?
What about you, Colin?
I am going to go, because of the ending of the match, I'm going to go 4 spots of tea.
Seems fair, Jerry.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm going to go ahead and go with 4 as well, because, yeah, the ending was garbage, but it leads to so many different questions, so many different possibilities. And for the fact that it's not necessarily the main event for a Salad Festival we're seeing, we don't know what's coming next. So
Yeah, that's true. I think the main event is going to end up... Never mind, I don't know. Out of all the matches announced for next week, I can't imagine which one's the main event for this whole shebang.
I'm thinking it's going to be the 6-man tag.
Huh.
You have Mastiff
Okay.
and Gallus in there. So.
Sure, why not? So that leaves it to me. I was thinking of going 4 1/4 for the match itself. I think it's definitely a 4-star match, and some of the things that I saw, especially fucking all the notes that I was forced to take at the end.
Yeah.
Jesus, what a match there at the end. For the last half of it. I was gonna go 4 1/4, but I'm gonna take it down to 4 based off of that that ending. It was bullshit.
So,
Totally ruined the match for me. And I'm going to take off an extra quarter because normally I'd give it a 1/4 star or a 1/4 spot of tea off of the back of a great show. This was a disappointing show considering it was NXT UK 50.
yes.
So I was extremely disappointed by the rest of the card considering the fact. And I'm going to go 3 3/4 spots of tea.
Wow.
Oh, cameo by the cat. Hell yeah. If you made it this far, it was worth it, dog.
That's
Right.
right.
Cat. So that brings us to the end of this episode of the NXT party. Thank you guys for being on
Long time.
NXT UK 50, man.
Yeah.
This was disappointing, but not from you guys, just from them. You know, NXT UK.
We love you.
Yeah. Thanks for giving us a
We
reason
love
to
you
do the
too,
show,
guys.
but
Yeah, seriously.
do better on a big show like
Oh,
this.
I was not you. I was talking to NXT UK people. You guys are okay.
Well, we'll be kissing ass come Cardiff, but for now we were a little disappointed with 50.
Yes.
So,
Right.
Chris Willis, where can we find you on social media?
Find me on Facebook, Christopher Willis. Follow me on Instagram, Chris J. Willis 86. Follow me on Twitter, GB Chris Willis 86. Follow my AEW Nations group, Facebook.
8,000 people.
Thank you, Jerry.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Like I said, I was just doing my thing.
Plus this Friday, me and my good sister, Sydney G, the Duchess of No DQ, the Beyonce of the 3 ladies of No DQ, me are going to the King of Indies 2019 in Daly City. Please say hello to me and her. So it is
Awesome.
what it is.
And Colin, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Colin26Andrew. You can follow me on YouTube at Colin, COLIN, space Andrew, ANDREW. It's been like maybe 2 weeks since I put a video up, but I've been real busy, so
Yeah,
it's
obviously.
in the works.
Oh, yeah, you've
So,
been swamped.
Yeah, you can like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that stuff. You can support my good friend over at NoDQ/Noah for 205 Live Matters and all the independent awesome things he does over there on his channel. So support simple man, Noah Foster.
Yeah, you can find his YouTube channel at Noah Foster 210.
Yep.
Just thought I'd throw that in there. I'm trying to remember your guys' shit. Because, you know, you guys help us with our show. So I should plug your shows. Even when you're not here. I want to thank you guys for being on. And if you'd like to be on a future episode of the NXT party, you can find us on social media. You can find them on social media. Anybody you want to find, they can get you on the show. Anybody in the NX team. But you can find me at nodq.com/Stefan. That's Stefan. Yeah, right there.
Sure.
Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, Osborne. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter.
At NoDQ Journal and my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARNBAR. Exclamation
point.
Hey, you found it awesome. Alright.
Nice.
It floated. Just join up, have our wrestling discussions with us and whatnot. Go ahead and head over to nodq.com/shirts. We have a sale going on right now. 20% off, going all the way up through the holiday weekend.
Yep. Buy a shirt.
Yep.
Like this one. It's orange. It's the only orange shirt on the page. So
we don't have an NX team shirt yet. It's
in the works.
We're working on it. I think they're looking for new people to put the shirts through because a whole bunch of crap went down. And the whole bunch of designs were rejected. But we're working on it.
So, anyway.
hey, you're going to throw some of that our way for a trip to Toronto. That'd be great.
Right, buy him some Timmy Hortons, man.
Yeah, we don't get proceeds from the shirts. You do that to help Aaron. So go to nodq.com for all your wrestling news and rumors, and that's how you support Aaron. Anything No DQ. Because he puts our shows up, so, you know, without him, there'd be no us.
So
except
thank
on
you.
Aftermatch Wrestling. But if you don't have Twitter and if you don't have Facebook, you can find me on Instagram at osborne.stefan. I mean, I don't post anything, but you can add me if you want. Or if that's how you want to get in touch with me so you can be on a future episode, go for it. Other than that, you can find these episodes on Aftermatch Wrestling. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. And these go there first and in HD. We are on our way to 100 subscribers. We are stuck at 88. But I'm sure that'll change eventually. Oh,
we got one
before I did.
We got another one. You didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
Had no idea. So we are 11 away from 100. At 100 subscribers, we're going to start doing What's NXT. That's our NXT review show live on nodq.com. And once we get to 1,000, we'll start doing it live on Aftermatch. In the meantime, if you like our video, you should click the like button. That's underneath me. If you like all of our videos, please click the subscribe button. That's over there underneath the dramatic Jerry. And if you'd like to help share the videos, there's that share button. You can share them on Twitter, or Facebook, or YouTube even. And help get the word out, help us to 100 subscribers. And if you're on Aftermatch Wrestling and you're on NoDQ, click that bell, or if you're on NoDQ, click that bell icon. Because it'll let you know when we finally hit 100 and go live.
I'm crushing your head.
It's not how it looks on camera. You gotta look over here. See, like,
I'm crushing your head.
See, there you go.
I'm crushing it.
So, for the good brother, Chris Willis, for the cleaver, Colin Andrew, for the General Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. And thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you NXT time.
Cheerio.